that whatever I'm going to share would definitely help the candidates who are listening to. Judging self is not required at this point. You just be yourself.
He analyzed and logically rationalized himself into the topics and what is contributing to what.
These kind of points I have added in my self description, ma'am.
You are there as what you are outside. So whatever that you are outside, at least be there. So let me present right in front of you Hemanth Kumar, our recommended candidate. He, during his entire journey of his recommendation preparation, is going to share certain myths that he would have also come across, will share his gyan as to how he has prepared, will tell you what is right, what is wrong, and the gyan that we also all SSS keep giving to you, wo kahan tak sach hai. So without further ado, I am presenting right in front of you Hemanth Kumar. Hemanth, introduce yourself, tell things about what is your studies, how you have come to this place that you are, what all have you endured, how much have you worked hard, what all have you been experiences till the time that you got recommended, and then we'll take further questions later. Over to you.
Right now. Very good afternoon, man, and for the team also. Thank you for having me here. So, for the first point, I would say that whatever I'm going to share would definitely help the candidates who are listening to this video. In this perspective, I would like to share my experiences and everything. Initially, I come from Visakhapatnam, which is a district in Andhra Pradesh, and I have my father and my brother at home, man. And like I have completed my graduation in mechanical engineering, and then I initially worked for a technical company, which is a Junction, for around 6 months, which is a semi-automated company. And then I moved to Reliance Global Corporate Security, whereas now I'm working as a security executive in Kakinada for oil and gas plant. And coming to my SSB preparation, ma'am, initially I have given my first attempt in 2019 November. That was my first UES entry scheme, which used to be there initially, but now I don't think so. So initially I have given my preliminary interview in my college level when I was in the end of the third year, and then I have got an interview call in my fourth year, and it was at NSB Kolkata. So that was my first attempt, and I was a fresher. I'm barely aware of what the process is gonna be, but I think my initial basic communication skills had helped me out in getting screened in for the first time. But definitely, due to that unawareness of what all the testing stages were there at this stage too, I was completely unaware. So I have given my best in everything, but definitely there are few things which has to be known or which has to be prepared prior when you go for an SSB, which I believe. And my second attempt, after I got conference out from Kolkata, I have given 2 attempts, which is for technical entry and for NCC special entry at Allahabad and Kapurthala, followed by. But I was barely able to get screened in. I got screened out in both the attempts. And then again, I have given my another attempt for Navy Tech. That was my fourth attempt in NSB Visakhapatnam. But I was not even screened in for that time. And this was by the end of the 2020 and 2021 entirely. I've got into new job. I was in training for 4 months at Jamnagar for the Reliance, and I was not able to attend any interviews. And for the other half of that year, I was not able to fill the application. So for the entire year, I was not giving any SSB attempt. So it is a 1 year completely total gap for me for giving in SSB attempts. And then I started giving in 2022. That was my first attempt in October at SSB Bhopal. So I was not able to screen in at that time also. After that, I went for SSC Tech, SSB Bangalore, and I was screened in at that time.
Very good.
And then at SSB Bangalore, in that also, it was my second attempt in terms of getting screened in. So, and it was a lot of gap, and I myself could say that I'm again a fresher for that attempt. So it is very difficult for me.
I totally understand.
I could barely prepare anything for that also. So I just prepared basic things like just all the aspirants, like preparing with the GK technical questions, and I was much more concentrated on the interview, leaving this GTO and Psych apart.
I can understand. I really understand.
So, and by the time you would have understood that the result is also conference out. And then,
Okay.
and I have prepared a little bit this time when I got a entry for naval constructor, which is at NSB Vishakhapatnam. At this point of time, I have given, like, I have divided the all the stage two techniques, like the psych, interview, and GTO. And for the psych, I could barely know that what I have to prepare, like whether should I write everything. The basic thing of the all aspirants are they're in a doubtful case whether they are giving the actual answers, or they always tend to judge themselves whether we are giving the right answer or the wrong answer. But as we listen at the instructions of Psych, initial instructions are there is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. It's all about your own perspective. So what you're going to give, that would be the final conclusion. That's all. So I would say that judging self is not required at this point. You just be yourself. So I have prepared for the psych. I have prepared for the interview with all my personal questions. There are very huge number of resources available in the internet today in the Telegram channels. So making use of them, and the GTO. I knew I was good at tackling all the structures and everything. But the thing is, how you are contributing in your group discussion, how you are presenting yourself, how you are presenting your plan, and able to influence the group in the group planning exercise. These all a very big matter. How you are utilizing the 3 minutes of your lecture time, how effective you are communicating on the topic with all the bare minimum knowledge which you have. So I have prepared and I have given best. I and then my conference went till around 25 minutes, which is a very huge time. In my NSB Vishakhapatnam attempt, I was again interviewed in the conference, but ultimately I got screened out. I mean, conference out. So at that point of time, I felt that if I could able to come this far, I would definitely make it for the next attempt. So at that point of time, I was searching for resources. I have my boss, who is a Lieutenant Colonel Vikram sir, is a gem of, I would say I admire him a lot for many such things. He helped me a lot in knowing about the GTO tactics and interview tactics. At that point of time, I would really thank him that he introduced me to Lieutenant Colonel Kamal ma'am, which is a life turning point, I would say. For the psych, so this time I took a guidance from ma'am in particularly the psychology thing. So initially, I would say I would talk about from the screening to the psych part, ma'am. So initially in the screening, the picture which you observe is very much important. What is there in the picture? How much, I mean, whatever the quantities of people or things which are present in the picture is matters a lot. For example, when we are doing exercises, initially ma'am has shown me a picture of a pot, a teapot, and two cups. So in that, I had made a story around that arranging a party to the team and we are having a good time. But the initial step where my observation has went wrong. There are only two teacups in the picture. Why would I go for a big party rather than making a story around two people meeting after a long time or a business deal with another boss? So I would say that observation of the picture is very much important when you write a tight story or a PPT story.
Absolutely.
And then, as the instructions are told by the psych, what led to the situation, what's actually going on in the situation, and what would be the likely outcome. People often tend to write or describe the picture in the initial 5 to 6 lines, which is a blunder, I would say. Like, I don't say blunder, it is like going away from what they want. So always make a situation when you see a picture, you know what's happening in the picture. So tentatively, we'll be able to make what led to the situation. So it's all depends upon what's actually we are perceiving on what is the present scenario which is going on in the picture. Through
Absolutely.
that, we can make how it came to the situation, how what is going to be the later outcome. And with that experience, I started making a story, like my introduction would be going to 1 to 2 lines from what really led to the situation, and what's actually going on in the situation would be 2 to 3 lines or 4 lines, and my actions part, what is to be the likely outcome, would be around 4 to 5 lines, which is total sum of making 10 lines story a proper accurate story for whatever they are required. So after this, I have practiced. I would say that I had not practiced many stories because that ends me up being artificial. Instead, I kept these stories limited. Along with the ma'am also, ma'am has never told that keep writing 100 stories so that you will be remembering something, and she never has said that, and she never changed any of my story, any of my theme. That is the best thing which I would like. She let me be me. She never interrupted in any of my thoughts. It's always she motivated me to become a more I would say that improve the quality of story by mind
The
gaming.
wise, yes,
Yes, ma'am.
the
Just
wise, the
mind
wise.
gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep thinking what else you could do, what else you could do. She always extracted the information from me asking a question, and ultimately what all the thoughts which are being generated is of mine. So the naturality of story has never gone. So this is the true essence of my PPTT. And then coming to the group discussion, I have started speaking with myself after ma'am has advised me to speak with me in a mirror, or when initially when I recorded my PPTT narration and I've sent to the ma'am. Ma'am has said that ma'am has initially asked a question that are you not confident of your story? So that was evident because of my voice tone. So when I narrated my story, ma'am has felt that somewhere I was not confident with my story. So that is why the modulation of my voice has been very bare. I mean, very. It's like a normal tone. So
Monotonous.
that, yes, ma'am. So that made me realize that yeah, if I would have been confident, why would I have been said this story in this way? I would have narrated with good feelings, good emotions, so that making an interesting narration and grabbing everyone's attention. So I started practicing that in front of a camera. I started recording my own video, and then I used to listen. I used to see the whole video. What are the modulations required? Where I am going down. So I have did a personal work also at the same time. So that helped me a lot in my narration, and that really made me to get in my screening process.
True.
Coming to the group discussion, it's always a huge mess when we go for repeaters. Everybody
Yes.
wants to put up their points. At the same time, if you are confident with your point and you feel that you have a valid point, never let yourself back. Whenever you feel that there is a little bit of gap in between, like three to four people talking, you immediately kindly interrupt them instead of stopping them all of a sudden. Introduce them that kindly you would like to put a point, and then with a higher pitch, so it must be audible to everyone. Higher pitch, you put up your point, which is a valid thing, and definitely if it is a valid thing, the team will accept it, because the ultimate conclusion of the team is to come to a common point, and it needs a contribution. I was never with an aim of getting my story get selected, because I understood the instructions properly. I have done my narration, they have read my story, and now it is the point of going for a common story. So instead of putting your own thought, I mean, own story front, if somebody is coming with a good story and you really feel that it's a good story, instead be a good team member and contribute to it. That makes you a very good team player. And
Okay.
that is, yes.
So I just want to ask you in this, like, you mean to say in this entire process, while you did not face this doubt in yourself that what if I'll not get a chance?
Yes, ma'am. So initially in my previous attempts, I used to have a chance at whether I'll be able to speak or not, whether I'll get a chance or not. But this time, with my preparation, there is always a quote that with your preparation, you get your confidence.
So, but
So
I have this doubt. See, even if there is a preparation, and let's say the entire group is wanting to indulge in, there is nobody who's going to allow you to speak. What if then? How did you find the time or the gap to speak? Did you wait for it, or what happened?
Like I started initially with everyone, man, but I knew, but everyone is going to speak. So I stopped myself and I waited for the opportunity that there is always one person who keeps shouting, and
Okay.
soon he stops. Everybody wants to get in. At that
Yes.
point of time, there is a very little fraction of time where you have to get in. The
Okay.
moment he's going to finish, you feel that he's going to finish. At the same point, you have to enter into the show. Even your initial point is being heard or not heard, you repeat the same point again so that everybody will hear it.
So,
So
am I right in saying, Hemant, that uh, while you are speaking, uh, just a second, um, is my video correct? Because I find there is a delay.
yes, there is a little delay.
Okay. अभी ठीक है? अभी
Yes,
ठीक है? Okay. So, is it correct to assume that, I mean, let me ask you, how many times were you able to speak during GD?
I spoke for 3 to 4 times, man. That's all.
Oh, that's really great. That's really great. So, and were you able to give the consensus of the story? Or that
Yes,
is,
ma'am.
you were able to give so
Yes,
how
ma'am.
did you nominate yourself? Did you nominate yourself, or or you waited for, or everybody else nominated you?
Like during the discussion, nobody has nominated, ma'am, because everybody wants to put their points. At that
Yes.
point of time, I waited till the other person finishes, and
Mm-hmm.
before he finishes, I started speaking in between.
Okay. Okay.
So at the end, at the very end, I felt that he is going to finish his point.
Mm-hmm.
At that particular time, I have to get in.
So that means, is it right for me to assume that you looked for an opportunity
Yes, ma'am.
and you grabbed it?
Definitely, ma'am. It's always you have to look for an opportunity in group discussion.
Fantastic. This is
You have,
amazing. You do not know, Hemant, what a fantastic tip that you have given to the candidates, because every time I am not in your position, Hemant, so I am not able to really empathize what exactly you might be undergoing it. And this thing that you mentioned, though we kept telling, find space, get in, speak, but this aspect that you said, that is, find an opportunity and grab it.
yes,
And
ma'am.
amazing, amazing. Okay, so just tell
It's
me, yes, please.
please, ma'am. You continue.
So, then when this happened, I would like to understand key, let's say on the second day, not on the Psych day. Psych day will come a little later. I'll keep the best for the last. That is GTO 1 and GTO 2 day. How did you approach the task? See, you knew that you will be kept in the repeaters batch. You knew that everybody would want to prove their point or come forth. How did you strategize something? Did you have some game plan in your mind? I mean, what was your lecture rate? What number of lecture rate did you choose? Third, fourth, one fifth, 1 second? Which one did you use? How did you approach the GD? And how, well, all these aspects are the, let me say, are the questions that all the candidates want to know. All to you.
So I'm starting with the group discussion on
Mm-hmm.
the day one of GTO.
Mm-hmm.
We were initially given a topic of how India is becoming a major power in international level.
Mm-hmm.
What is the main backbone of it? Whether it is the new education policy or the Make in India, or there is one more, whether the international relations by our external minister. So the entire team has choose to become a new education policy. I've heard from everyone, and they started saying we would. I mean, soon the group discussion has started. So everybody started shouting it would be the new education policy. But somewhere I have done my rational thinking. Is it really new education policy? How long it would be taking? Even now we are getting graduated. Even now they are performing well. I would say it would be a little bit of contribution. But I have related it with my international other countries also. You see China, it is booming because of its manufacturing industry. And Prime Minister Modi has started in Make in India just to boost the manufacturing industry, which is indirectly creating a lot of jobs, opportunities of business, developing of cities and remote villages. And so everything is going in my mind. So I waited. Soon upon I got my opportunity. I said the initial thing that taking example of China has becoming a major power because of its manufacturing industry. The same way I would relate it to the Make in India because Prime Minister has considered at that point. So I
I
said
would,
this.
yes, why I'm going to butt in here is because I want to highlight this point. Candidates need to understand what Hemant has done. He has not just started speaking points. एक topic मिला और बोलना start करो A, B, C, D. No, he has not done that. We keep talking of worldviews. Are you able to decipher what he did? He analyzed. He analyzed and logically rationalized himself into the topics and what is contributing to what. Even if it was going to go in a certain different direction than what the group was going, he did not stop there. He put up his point with logical conclusions and point. Believe you me, he made a mark with the GT. He would have made that mark with me also in the psych had he brought that rational point in my stories also. But he made a mark. Please note it down. This is very important. I'll keep stopping you, Hemant, in between just to highlight those
Totally
points.
fine.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Oh, okay. Back to you.
And yes, ma'am. And the same point, like the other 9 members were on the new education policy only. So I really don't want to counter them because their views, I really respect their views also. But at the same time, I just stood with my point. I just kept saying how the Make in India is being contributing to the countries, how the MSMEs are being developed in the entire India, how the economic corridors are coming. We are even able to manufacture for the other countries in special economic zones. Even our own defense production has been given to our own Indian companies like Tata Motors and other defense manufacturing units. We are able to export things from our country. So this is how India, even during the COVID also, India, because it was able to manufacture its own vaccine, it was able to help the nations who are really not able to do all those things at their own.
So Hemant, do I also then assume that you maintained the team harmony?
Yes, ma'am.
You did not disrupt the team harmony by saying, oh, chest number 10, you're wrong. Chest number 12, you're wrong. But I am the one who's right, or not even wrong. No. Your point can be considered like this. You did not do that. You introduced your point, and also, which one I have always tried to tell the candidates, yes, you need to be aware about the topic, but more than the topic, you need to have deduction of the topic. You know, what you are telling me and what I'm able to understand is you deduce the topic so very well that you were able to amalgamate the effect it will be having on the aspects which the topic really wanted to bring out. Is that so?
Yes, ma'am. In fact, I really supported the other team members saying that the new education policy is a remarkable change in the education system. But the result is going to be tremendous, but there is a delay in that. As now, India is competing with the several other countries in international level. But if you introduce the education policy, it will be taking around 14 to 16 years to the graduate come out and to start up or to do his to put up his knowledge in actions. It will take a lot of time.
Okay.
I really made them aware of the situation. Like there is a delay in this thing. Like it will take 16 to 17 years after a child who is starting from his first standard to become a graduate and come out and bring his knowledge to the country. So that would take, yes, ma'am.
So then that means if I have to summarize this, you were able to maneuver the team in the manner of what you were thinking.
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. So
and
yes.
At the end of the discussion, they were fine. Like they have agreed with that. The manufacturing industry was the booming main reason for the Indian nation to emerge in this international level.
Okay. So now scene 2. What happened? What lecturate did you choose? I would not want to say what you spoke. I would like to understand the moment you were introduced. Okay, chess number so and so, come and choose the topic. What were the topics? If you are comfortable, and when what number of topic did you choose, and how did you really prepare? Can you give a brief of it?
Yes, ma'am. So I have taken my card and there are 4 topics in that. I really don't remember the second 2 topics because I was able to look at the first 2 topics only. The first one is the black hole, regarding the black hole, and I have no idea about it. So I choose to escape it.
Good one. So which one did you choose?
So I have choose the second one, ma'am, which is COVID-19.
Okay.
Because we have all gone through it.
Yes.
So we knew that.
Yes.
So the topic has started from my home itself, ma'am.
Yes.
How a common person sitting at home has faced the repercussions of COVID-19. What could have been the safety measures to eradicate it in the initial levels?
Yes.
How India has performed in eradicating COVID-19, and also how India has encouraged its startup companies to get the vaccination at early as possible for a very huge populated country. And apart from that, how the government has managed to distribute vaccines in this larger level. How it was able to make it possible every common individual sitting at home will be able to get this vaccine.
Can I highlight now what you have done? Because
Definitely.
it is candidates, please understand what Hemant has done. He took the card, prioritized in the manner of what was the best he is going to put across. Thereafter, he again defined what it was and what he was going to put forth. And after that, he understood the reason of the why. Why is he going to do it? And then the most important aspect, if you have been listening to him, he brought out the how of it. How it was, how it could have been, how it is now then, and how the government managed, performed, did. Are you able to understand how he went about? What all efforts that he did? Please, this thing that he's bringing out is for entirely your benefit. Understand the crux. Yes, Hemant, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. So at the same time, I also, managed to match the thoughts of country with our ancient things like the India believes in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So that is how it has helped it has taught the one world and one family, and that is why it helped the poor countries with the vaccination, and how it extended its helping hand to the other countries, managing both inside the house and outside the house. So that is how I was able to collectively put all my points in my lecture right now.
I am learning so much from you, Hemant, sincerely. So with this comes my next doubt, which I have been, asking the GTOs also. Why is PGT so important? And many times they raise the level of difficulties. And how did you perform? Rather, I would not like to hear the first two aspects of the PGT. How did okay, let me give you a situation. Were you able to give your ideas, number one? And if you were able to give ideas, and or were you not able to give ideas? So how do you tackle the situation? I'm very sure you handle both of them, but how?
Yes, ma'am. So coming to the PGT, progressive group task, it's all about observations of obstacles which are there in front of you.
Okay.
So whenever there are 4 tasks, ma'am. There are 4 different four different obstacles. So initially, the first obstacle is always a very easy one.
Yes.
So every individual, if he observe now with a basic thinking, he would be able to tackle that. So you knew that it is going to be tackled by any of you. So you should be thinking one step forward. You should be thinking about the second and third obstacle.
Okay.
So any one of your team is going to contribute this idea, even though you should also contribute to the same idea. But at the same time, you are one step ahead of your entire team. They are busy in tackling your first obstacle. You must be busy in tackling with the second and third obstacle. So that is how I am taught, ma'am.
Amazing.
So the first thing,
amazing. That is a groundbreaking thought. Groundbreaking thought. Good.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So you knew. And the other thing is, like, once you are behind the team, everybody are busy in resolving the problem. Nobody is going to listen to you. Especially the one who is going to tackle this problem, he keeps his entire brain in tackling that problem. And there are only few candidates, I would say, like who are really cared about the other people in the team. Not everyone, because most of them are selfish in doing their own stuff.
Okay.
So barely you will get that kind of candidates in the group. But
Okay.
once you get that kind of candidates, you should tackle them in such a way that take the initiative, be the first person to cross the obstacle.
Okay, but is it necessary that you have to cross? It's like I mean, this is my perception. Please correct me wherever I'm
Yes,
wrong.
ma'am.
What about you being a leader, you guiding them, taking them and taking the onus, letting everybody cross? All those things, aspects need not be taken care?
Those all are important, ma'am. Really,
Mhm.
they must be taken care. But at what point? I said the first thing will be able to tackle. So take initiative. Once the team has bridged up, you are the first one who is going to check it by
Uh-huh.
going. So you went
Okay.
and you checked it. So it is
Uh-huh.
fine. It is good to go. Then you invited your entire team to come safely. And the moment you reach to the second obstacle, you should thinking about the idea how to get the last person. So once you go
Okay.
ahead, only then you will able to observe that particular structure.
You mean to say, uh, first of all, as a leader, you are the head, you plan. Small things, you let everybody else do it, the team do it, and you start planning ahead. And that is the time when it is the time that the team needs you. You plan it, you put forth your ideas, then take on the onus of, crossing it, or putting the point across.
Exactly, ma'am. Exactly.
Fantastic.
See, you must help the team in carrying the other supporting materials, your load and everything. At the same time, you must be checking the structure which was made, whether it is really workable or not. Is there any other? If there is a structure which is being made at a base level above height, so that is very, really dangerous for somebody who is like more obese or healthy person like me to cross it, because he's going to definitely fall out of unbalance. So how could you make the structure more better? Will it be able to bridge it at low level? Thinking that is also very important, ma'am. You suggesting the
I
team
like
that
it.
this could be more easy for you to make a good and reasonable obstacle crossing thing. So you should giving ideas for the team, letting them tie the things. You have an idea, you need the team's help, you are advising the team to do this. So they are doing it at the same time. They are helping you and you are also helping them with the idea. So this is how the team is working together. At the same time, you're responsible of your own extra materials to be carried. You're taking care whether the load is reaching to that spot or not. At the same time, ensuring it is coming or not, you must be advising the others to get the load also at the same time,
Hmm.
and ensuring the last person, when you go on to the next obstacle, always extend a help for the person who is crossing the obstacle. That is very much important, because it is your obvious nature to extend help. When we do it outside, why would we hesitate to do it in the PGT? You should do it. Extend a help to the next person instead of getting busier with the obstacle.
Yes. So is it correct? So what you are trying to say is that yes, it is when everybody is hard pressed कि मुझे करना है. I have to show something. I have to prove something. And what you are trying to, not trying, you are saying is you are there as what you are outside. So whatever that you are outside, at least be there. If you are the same person who helps every person going there outside on the road, whatever happens, little somebody asks for help, you help them out, you solve little problems, routine problems, you help them out. Then why won't you do that there also? Just
Exactly,
because
ma'am.
it's a GTO and there's a lot of pressure, and then you have to perform, and there is a performance pressure, it should not deter you from your true self.
Yes, ma'am. True, ma'am.
Fantastic.
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic.
There is nothing to get frightened when you're on ground.
Very good.
My, I was always used to be very calm and composed. I always used to listen to the others' ideas also, because that is very
Mhm,
important. I
mhm,
always have the feeling that I am not the best. There is
mhm,
always the best within us,
mhm.
and I have given my best. There might be somebody who is going to give a better idea than me. I always
True.
used to look for it also at the same
Very
time,
good. Very good.
because I'm confident that my obstacle is going to be tackled with my idea. But
Mhm,
at the same time, there is somebody else who can bring it more safer. So I used
mhm.
to listen before I used to say the idea. I used to tackle the solution. I used to ask the team, is there any other good technique to cross it? So if there is somebody, they would contribute definitely. So that way I'm engaging my team also along with me. It is not a
Wow.
one-way show.
Fantastic. I am loving this entire conversation. Believe you me, Hemant, you do not know what you're giving out to the candidates because we, exactly this is what we want the candidates to do. We want the candidates ki we know you are good people, but we will not assume things. We will assess. And if you're trying to show certain things, that will also come out. If you're trying to be yourself, that will also come out. So, I mean, now comes the most important aspect also. How is that you performed with others in the command task, and how was your command task? Do not describe me because I would like to maintain the that part of it. But how was the experience part?
Ma'am, command task, I was the first person to call. My chest number is 10. I was the last person in the entire team. I was the first
Okay,
person to call.
okay,
And the moment I reached the area, I saw a very different obstacles, which are
okay,
initially I felt like, what are these? Few things are rotating, few things are hanging, few things
okay.
are not completely standing. So I was like, I'm sure that I think GTO has believed that I have the capability of tackling all this. So
Amazing,
that is why he was able to give all this to me.
fantastic.
So the moment I would really say this, the time when I'm talking to my GTO at the same time, I was observing the obstacles also.
Good one. Very good.
And I
Very,
was,
very.
yes, ma'am. And I was planning how to do. And I have got time to call my subordinates. There is a little bit of 30 seconds of time. The
Okay.
moment they have to reach to the obstacle. That time I'm free. I would have observed, I was observing the obstacles, which way to choose. There are three ways. So which way to choose? So I have choose that. And I've decided that okay, this way I am going to go this way. The moment they came, I have introduced them. I did not waste a lot of time. I have introduced, this is the command task. I'll be your commander, and I would request you to follow my instructions for the next until the moment we cross all these obstacles. And then I asked them for a help. So initially, the initial obstacle has been tackled. I have tackled it, and then the bridge was made, and then I was the first person to go on to the next obstacle. And then I asked my subordinates to come behind me. I said, the structure is good. You have made it the way I have said you have made it. It is completely fine. So I have crossed it. It is perfect to go. I have called them. And then I called another person along with me. So the middle one is a little bit difficult. It was bending and it was moving. So I have to arrest the motion. Ma'am, in GTO, I would say every obstacle has a solution. There is no
Yes.
obstacle without a solution.
Thank you. Thank you. I was discussing the same thing with my candidates. Like God gives you problems, knowing that you have the capability to solve them. Similarly, SSB is like a small little world. All the
Exactly.
problems have a solution. In the problem lies a solution. You just need to see it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh.
I would say SSB is just like life. When you get a
Yes.
problem, instead of you feeling low,
Mm.
just think what you can do instead of sitting there.
Yeah.
So when I was at the problem, I was just thinking, I was observing the structure. If I would, while tackling an obstacle, there is always a pivot point, there is always a back support.
Mhm.
Only then you will be able to fix that bully or plank in between those two. So
Yes.
identify what is the support, where is the support. If you don't have support, you have extra material. How could you use that rope or that bully to make it a support thing? And you will have a one plank or bully to make a bridge. So you will have a pivot point where you have to place it. You must observe the obstacle very carefully and you will be able to tackle. There is no obstacle such until now what I have done. There is no such obstacle which you will not be able to tackle. It's all about how mind gaming you do with the obstacle, how rational thinking you do with the obstacle, how purely you are observing the obstacle with calmness. I would say specifically with calmness because there is always a pressure around
Yes.
everyone. It's
Yes.
always you, how yourself you're going to calm yourself. So while I am tackling the second obstacle, GTO is asking me a lot number of questions sitting there.
He's fresh. He's increasing the pressure onto you.
He's asking, Hemant, how many seconds are there in 6 minutes? Ask your subordinate to count 6 minutes, starting from 300. Start him to count loudly. He's not counting loudly. Tell him to count loudly. So all these questions he is continuously keeping on me.
Yes.
So I was answering very coolly. At the same
Yes.
time, I was talking to subordinates. I was answering coolly. He's keeping pressure. You're left with only 30 seconds. You violated the rule. So
I
all
like
this, it's
it.
like,
It's fun. It's
yeah,
really
it's
fun.
really fun, ma'am. Answering the GTO and doing that task at the same time. So I was smiling at the same time. I was smiling.
Yes.
I don't need to take any pressure. Whether I will
Yes.
be able to cross it or not, I'm not going to get under pressure. There is no need of getting under pressure. So I was smiling. I was answering the GTO. I was talking to the team, and then I was able to solve it. I was
Yeah.
able to cross it, and I've done it within the less time. I mean,
You
I did not even take more time.
I would request you to leave your number here, right? Because people are really going to. I want people to call you and ask you, "कि sir, please थोड़ा सा बता दीजिए how you could maintain that calm and composure." Because I would have बस मैंने हाथ जोड़ना बाकी रह गया है कि please be calm. All is well. Absolutely. Just the moment you are worried, take a little step back and then observe the things. Things will come to you. It's no way that the things won't come to you. So leave your number there or your Instagram handle there. People are going to bombard you with the ideas, and I surely want that. Okay. So
Definitely, ma'am. I'm always open to help.
yes,
So
I would request that you share your Insta handle and let everybody ask you tons and tons of doubts. The only when if one person understands the value of what you're trying to tell them, they are for sure going to meet the bar. Great. So okay, tell me one more thing. Now, ये तो when you did it type हो गया in GTO. What
yes, ma'am.
happened in your IO? By the way,
Yes, ma'am.
a cup of coffee for you.
Definitely, ma'am. You have it. I'm on my diet, so I can't.
Yes. Okay, fine. ठीक है.
You
I
please
will
have
have
it, ma'am.
my
Yeah.
yeah. I will enjoy my coffee. Okay.
And ma'am, out of all this, like in the GTO, what I have said, I would definitely going to tell about my interview also. But in GTO, I would say candidates, please follow the instructions which they are giving, which is very, very, very much important. If there is a violation of rule, immediately stop it there and start it again. Start it again. If you are said to be out of bound of red, don't touch it.
Oh
Be
yes.
strict to yourself in this point of. We should be strict to ourselves, ma'am, in this point of thing. Never violate any rule. If it is
Mhm,
said, it is said. If it is laid in instruction, it is laid. You have to follow it. That's all.
mhm.
So
Okay.
this is a very big thing.
So did
I
okay.
myself
Okay,
felt
you
it.
were conscious about it.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very much conscious about all the instructions.
Okay. Okay. Great.
So this will help a lot.
Okay. Okay.
And coming to IO, ma'am, my interview went around 45 minutes. 45 minutes is completely upon my PIQ.
Okay.
So initially, interviewer asked me around a set of questions related to my personal details, related to my family background, related to my education, related to my extracurricular activities and co-curricular activities and achievements in my life. And I have memorized the all questions the moment he started. Firstly, remaining calm and composed is a big thing in an interview. Obviously, it's a basic human tendency that we tend to become panic environment, make a panic environment around us. So I would say that just stay calm. Just assume that your father or your well-known person or your own mentor is sitting in front of you. Instead of thinking he's an interviewer, think that you are talking to somebody who is known to you from a very long time. This technique will help you a lot. It
That's
helped me a lot. So automatically when you see a known person, you'll be free. And I've been myself, I've been smiling, I've been answering. Even if I don't know the questions, I said with a smile. So I have memorized all the first questionnaire which was asked to me, and I was able to answer all the questions in one go. And I just kept everything open, man. So whatever I have mentioned in my PIQ, I did not hide anything. and what is there in my personality, I just kept openly. At the same time, I don't have any tension that I have to make some make some modulation in my answers, or give another different answer. Because I kept everything open, it became very easy for me.
Yes.
So it just went in a flow. The answer has gone in a flow because I have been through my entire life again, starting from my childhood. So I have answered the first questionnaire, second questionnaire about my college, my favorite teacher, and teachers whom I don't like, and how is my education, how it is helping me as of now. So all this questionnaire. The second questionnaire, I was able to answer 4 questions, and I was not able to memorize the other questions. At that point of time, I have kindly requested the SSI that, sir, could you please repeat the questions, so that I was not able to recollect them. So sir has done it, and then I have answered it again
So,
calmly.
but at no point, Hemant, did you feel, oh my goodness, I have not been able to recall it. Oh my goodness, I have lost it. Did at no point were you cornered, uh, or you felt, I'm losing it?
Ma'am, the other thing is, like, I was not carrying my bags like the previous question which I have answered. Once I have answered, it was not there in my mind. It's gone.
Fantastic. Okay.
Because I have given the answer, I can't change it.
Yes.
I know. So I was not thinking, if I knew the answer, I have answered it well. If I don't know the answer, I said kindly, sir, I do not know about it.
So you said that, and
Yes,
and
ma'am.
and and when, okay, this is really amazing because why? Because people, all the candidates prepare so very well so that they are ready with the answers, and I'm very sure this is again a very big highlight. Please understand, candidates, my dear candidates, what he is saying is of very bright importance. It is always the deduction of the personality that all the assessors are looking at. Io saw a very mature personality who is a balance of what he knows and what he may not know, but who is curious enough and intends to learn. And that is a very important aspect of his personality. Thank you, Hemant. Yes, back to you.
So, ma'am, I just kept myself calm, and I tried answering all the questions. Mostly, I've answered all the questions. The only question which I was not able to answer is that when sir has told me what could be the volume of this particular room. So I went into mathematics. I measured. I took a very bare reference, and I made this feet could be this, and I have calculated length, breadth, and height, and I have said that the volume of the room can be this, and sir has asked me how many liters of water can be fitting inside this volume. I really tried to answer the question, but when I was not confident with my answer, I said, sir, I really don't know. And I would definitely get myself aware of this, and I will answer you in the conference. I said this, and we moved to the next question.
Wow, great.
That's all. And the other topics has went on. Sir has just asked me, and I have answered all the questions. So he really asked me a few different questions, like how what advice would your father would like to give to me? I mean for me, what advices does your father give you in general? Tell me 5 advices. So in my self description, I have wrote one point that I usually take care of my family a lot, and I feel like I have my brother and my father. So I always think about whether they are safe, whether they are healthy or not. So I keep myself worrying. So I said this. Actually, I'll reveal it at the end. And so I said this thing that my father would definitely advise me to uh, uh, don't worry about the family because they are absolutely doing fine. The first thing, and the second thing is, like, he does not know how I'm preparing because I'm living away from the home. So he knew how I'm thriving to become armed forces officer. So he always advised me to prepare well
Very good.
for every time. So, and the third thing, when you are away from your home, every parent advises you to take care of your health, eat well on time. So this is
Yes,
another advice.
yes.
So I kept it in general. I said this is the third advice. Apart from that, I've thought, and I said, sir, only these 3 advices my father gives me in general. That's all.
Fantastic. So now you have mentioned SD, and there is very important aspect. Remind me of the healthy wala part, because this
Yes.
I'm very sure many people would want to know. SD, it is my woe, my pain, right? Everybody prepares SD. Everybody crams SD and goes and writes. What did you do?
So I should say the credit must be going to you, man. It's like everybody prepares. Even I prepared the SD before
Yes.
before attempts. But what change has been made here? So when we tend to write SD, we prepare 1 or 2 paragraphs, not more than that. So when you sit at a place and when you think yourself and you write about yourself, what your parents would think about you for 2 to 3 pages, you will get your life history in that
Yes.
entire life history in that. Remember every small thing which you have done at home and every small incident which happened with your parents.
Yes.
So it gives a complete output.
Yes.
So from that, after reading the entire 2 pages, if you extract the good things, it is
Yes.
not like the best things, because ultimate thing is like SD is like what you wanted to tell about yourself, what I believe.
Yes.
I
Yes.
really don't know if I'm saying wrong. I would like to ask you to forgive me, man.
No, no.
But so SD is like what you wanted to tell the SSS what you are,
Yes.
because they have watched you in all the other things.
Yes.
But here, what you are telling about yourself,
Yes.
whether it is matching or not, it is their duty. But
Yes.
telling about myself is my duty.
Yes.
So I have I have kept all the good things with ma'am's guidance, and then there are also few things which are not very much problem in one's personality, but they do exist in everyone's, and you must be able to make it to look alike that it is a general thing, but it happens with everyone. Just like how I care about my family and how I worry about my family or my parents' health, it is a general thing. Everybody does it, and if you're not worrying it, that means you're not responsible at the same time.
Yes.
So these kind of points I have added in my self description, ma'am. And it again, and the entire SD is pure again. What I have done in my life, it is the same thing. I did not do any modifications, or I did not bring any false information in that. So
Fantastic.
that really made me easy because I was true to myself.
Fantastic.
Coming to my friends, starting from my childhood, my college, I have a very big circle. So, circle of friends. So it's really hard for me to, purify all those stuff to get a crux of it. So as of now, I am working. I look to my surroundings of my colleagues. I myself live with my 4 of my colleagues. So how I personally take care of them, how I cook for them, how they show love and response to me, how we take care of each other. If अगर किसी का तबीयत ठीक नहीं है तो उसको hospital लेके जाना. Even you are coming after a shift and you are bothered about your colleague is not feeling well and you are taking him to the hospital. And the next day their parents calls and tells you that you are their parent because you are living along with them. One
Yes.
must take it. So all these are the good things which you do in your life. So I would say bring up all the things in your SD, which are very much important.
Very.
Yes, ma'am. Make all these things, put them in your SD. These are really going to be a game changer, because what you do are what you're putting in your SD.
Yes.
That is how I brought everything coming to my boss, what he thinks, how I behave in my team, how punctual I am. Usually, see, it is a basic thing. If you're working in a corporate, you have to be on time. So you
Yes.
are being on time, that means you're punctual.
Yes.
So it is a good thing to mention. So
Yes.
that is how I made them, man. Because I do punctual, I am punctual and I do my work on time. I have a good relations with my guards. If any work is there, being a local guy. I know the language. It helps me to get the things done in the less time. So that is my add-on. So these all things I have mentioned everywhere in my SD. Wherever I get a space, I used to how the responsibilities were given to me, how my boss nominates to different kind of learnings, because how enthusiasm show which I show towards the work or learning new things, and how I execute it, how I pass on the knowledge to my juniors. If they get stuck anywhere, how would you go and help them? how would you take responsibility of the work, go on ground and do with them? It's not
Okay.
just like you're calling and saying that get this work done and it is being
Yes.
done. No, you are going on ground and you're working with them. Yes,
Involving yourself, involving
yes,
yourself.
ma'am. Uh,
So just tell me
involve,
one, just
yes, ma'am.
complete that part.
Involving with this, I would say a very big mantra which was told by Lieutenant Colonel Man is
Yeah.
when you go to the SSB, it's always you must be involved but not attached to the
Yes.
process.
Yes. The
Yes,
moment you start getting attached to the process, what happens is those emotions, whatever that you attach, start affecting you. And that is where you get deterred from your aim. So, detachment and involvement. Be detached, but be 100% involved.
involved. So
I've got one more query that is
yes,
surrounding the blank story. This is the, you know, that how important blank story is. Everybody knows. How did you prepare for a blank story?
yeah. I'm coming to my blank story. Initially, I have made a small work of what all the achievements I have done in my life.
Okay.
So out of that, I really felt one of my achievement is like an extraordinary thing which I did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I have put in a lot of hard work to do that. At the same time, it's like at the climax, the hero gets affected with some other out of factor, and then still he goes beyond that.
Yeah.
Out of all the limitations, he still fights for it, and he will able to get it done for the word which he has given to his instructor. It just happened in my life. It's like
Mm.
what you said, a never giving up thing. I
Mm.
got myself hurt in during the last competition of sailing in my IGC, but
Mm-hmm.
I have promised my instructor that I would get a gold medal for the Andhra Pradesh team, and that is how I got my hurt. My entire boat has become red with my blood, and it is bleeding with my legs. But still, the word which I gave is very much important for me because I need to
Yes.
get the gold medal. So I have finished it. I finished the race. Even after completing the first race, the jury has told that there must be a second race held. One race cannot be held, and my instructor was against it. So initially, we were not with that commitment. So my instructor was against it. But still, with confidence, I went and said, "Let them conduct, sir. We shall go and win again." So that kind of confidence which you have, which you believe in your work, so that is how the entire thing which I made my blank story, man. So I was able to frame all those things properly. I have showed you also. You also have watched it, and you did the betterment, like where it must be the sentence arrangement or the sequence of scenes which has to go. So all this have been done properly, and then I kept this blank story in that. I would say that for any kind of person, um, there is always an achievement in your life,
Yes.
starting from your childhood. There are many
Yes.
achievements which you tend to dilute or which you tend to not observe it properly. Observe yourself properly. In your life, you have done a lot of things. Every individual has done a lot of things. Identify it and make it your blank story.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. I would like to bring one most important aspect that Hemant has missed. That he has been saying that, you know, he was guided well and he was told well and then he did it. The most important ingredient in its entire thing has been Hemant. I have been very fortunate to that I was chosen by the Almighty to be with Hemant. But believe you me, Hemant did not require me. And why he did not require me, this is what I want to bring out to all of you. Please understand this very carefully. Have you seen the mehnat Hemant did? How he approached everything? I would have said one sentence. I would have told him कि ये task karo, and he kept doing it. And I'm very sure for other guidances that he got, they also would have given him one sentence कि ये करना है, and he did it. Please understand, you have already in you. It is up to you. It is Hemant who did. It is Hemant who went after the lives of the gurus that were there in his life. कि ये करो मेरे लिए. मेरे को करके दिखाओ, मुझे करो. He was unwell. Let me tell you folks, he was running high fever just before his exams. He could have easily said कि मेरे का तो तबीयत खराब हो गया है. I cannot come on call. I cannot listen to what you're saying because I'm hardly able to pay attention to what you're saying. He came. He was back to back in shifts. He did not drop out of the shifts. He did not take leave. He hardly slept. Why am I saying all this? Am I giving out gathas? No, I'm bringing out very important aspect, and that aspect is hard work has no other alternative, folks. When you are passionate for your aim and goal, everything else fades in oblivion. You decide you want to go and gain something, achieve something, you have to do it all alone. Everybody is a bystander, including the assessor, including the guru. He or she is a he or she is definitely the path. They will show you the direction, but who has to walk that direction? It is you. And Hemant, you have done that. You are, God bless you. If I want children there, the candidates there, to get the hold of it, to please don't get the hold of that Kamal ma'am did. No, Kamal ma'am is nobody. Please understand who was the person behind doing it. It was Hemant. Today it is Hemant. Tomorrow it is that person. It can be you who understands this mantra कि मुझे करना है. It is my responsibility, 100% my responsibility, and I am supposed to do it. This entire conversation, drink it, digest it, and then implement it in your life. Hemant, I would want you to give this when you summarize all your experiences and experience of life and SSB. What is that you would want the candidates, the aspirants to keep in mind, and what is your advice to them?
Ma'am, with time, what happens is like when I was 19 years old or 20 years old, the motivation of joining armed forces is it's above 100%. But with time, what happens when person goes through different situations in life, there are different requirements in life. When you go to different things, don't let your goal which you aim get distracted.
Fantastic.
You thought somewhere, it's like I was inspired from Abdul Kalam sir, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir. Like his ultimate goal is flying the fighter jet. Whether it is he joined the Air Force and he flew the jet, or whether he has become a president and he flew the jet, it is not, the paths are different, completely different. But finally he is able to do it.
Yes.
So when you are that much determined to join the armed forces, don't let your motivation get down.
Very good.
When you get your motivation down, always look for resources. You have many success stories out there, read them. You have many motivating videos available in internet, watch them. You have many inspiring personalities around you. Go and see a guard who is working on ground. He gets paid only 11,000, but still the sincerity he shows towards the duty. And when everybody tends to sleep, he stays awake and he does his duty. So what is motivating him? If 11,000, which is motivating him, his motivation would have gone a long back. It is his family, it is his hard work which he has to do to earn his living. It's motivating him. So what is the actual motivation behind you to join the armed forces? Identify it. Why you wanted to join it, the purpose. When you knew the purpose, you will be motivated, even if it is your above age, or when you have left with 100 attempts or 10 attempts, doesn't matter. If you wanted to make it, just keep trying. I've started in 2019. I've finally succeeded. I would say that I was able to make it in 2023. It's a matter of 4 years time what all I've gone, but still the aim. There are many people saying that why you still trying? You're in corporate, you have a good job, good career. There are a lot of distractions. No, you wanted to do something, just stick to that. There is always limitations everywhere. Even ma'am was saying, just like I was doing night CPA shifts. Like, see, I used to work from 9 to morning 6 o'clock, and then I used to get 4 hours of sleep. Again, I used to work from 2:30 to 11:30, and 12 o'clock I used to sleep. Again, I used to get up at 4 o'clock, and I used to work till 2 o'clock, from 6 o'clock to 4 o'clock shift. So it is a very hectic thing. I used to get only 4 to 3 hours of sleep, hardly.
Yes.
And I was awake through the entire 2 to 3 days, and still I was attending the man. I'm damn serious about it, because when ma'am, a person like ma'am who is able to take out time from her busy life, what excuse I am going to give to her? What if I'm giving an excuse, that means, I really don't want to make it.
Yes.
So I don't want to give any excuse. In the very first day, when ma'am said that when I assess, when I see you, if I feel that you are able to give it 100%, only then I'm going to teach. Otherwise, I'm not. She is blunt, and that really motivated me a lot. If a person can be this much passionate, why should I not be that? So I really grasped and I learned a lot of things from you, ma'am. Like, as of now, I'm talking about you. I learned a lot from you. There are other persons in my life also. They also motivated me a lot. There is one particular thing which I've learned from my academy, is like the lessons learned. It was taught by my chief instructor, Brigadier Deep Bhagat. He said that whatever you learn in the day, start writing it at the end of the day. What are the lessons you learned? Whether it is maybe a 10 lessons or 7 lessons or 15 lessons, you can learn everything watching a person who is sweeping on the road.
Wow.
To a person sitting above you. You can learn everything.
Fantastic.
And being kind to people will make you a very good. I believe in this thing: when you take care of the environment takes care of you.
Fantastic. Fantastic, Hemant.
Yes.
I can go on and on and on listening to you. Hemant, I request, please share, please leave your Insta handle and also your number, so that I want the candidates to speak to you, because they will understand the language that you're speaking. They will understand. You will be able to make them understand, because the sole aim is right person, right job, right time, and you are the right person at this time to guide them. And of course, there is one aspect which I will take the team to later on take on, that is about the health wala thing, but not now. But at the same time, God bless you. I am looking forward. You know what? I am looking forward for the day when when you are going to wear the cadet's uniform, and also the day you're going to get commissioned. You do not know the happiness that it brings to me. My blessings are with you. And
thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Whatever little I can contribute in your life, I'll be the happiest person to contribute and be
Definitely, man. I really feel that the presence of you in my journey of my success is a big God blessing for me, and always being a constant a motivator of mine with your qualities, which I really admire looking at you for motivation, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you. We'll meet again.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.